This is the Farm Monitor. For over 50 years, your source for agribusiness news and features from around the Southeast and across the country, focusing on one of the nation's top industries, agriculture. The Farm Monitor is produced by one of the largest general farm organizations, the Georgia Farm Bureau. Now here are your hosts, Ray DeLessio and Kenny Burgamy.
You know, I really like that announcement. He just seems so down to earth, doesn't he?
He really does. He really does.
Kind of like you at home. Welcome to the show. Glad you tuned in for another Farm Monitor because we think it is a good one.
Yes, indeed. And here's a sample of what's coming up. Yes, beef prices are on the rise, but is it all good news for Georgia cattlemen? Find out how low inventory is creating new opportunities and what producers need to do to stay ahead. Also on the show, the sweet story behind this Georgia Farm Bureau certified farm market, a special place where family bonds and ripe berries flourish. And then later, with Mother's Day around the corner, Ray and Tracy have you covered with sweet and savory brunch recipes that'll have everyone begging for seconds, maybe even thirds. These stories and so much more right now on the Farm Monitor.
Well, for years, beef prices have been on the rise at the grocery store, but Georgia cattlemen are only just starting to see their share of the profits. Damon Jones dives into the reasons behind this market shift and explores programs that can help protect ranchers from future instability.
Despite popular belief, the steady increase of beef prices over the past couple of decades hasn't necessarily meant more money in the pockets of producers. Between record high input costs and the portion that goes towards packers, profit margins remain slim. However, that is starting to turn, which provides new opportunities for cattlemen here in Georgia.
The industry still remains strong for cow-calf producers like those here in Georgia. We're excited about the higher prices that we're starting to see. This is finally an opportunity for our industry to be able to help pay down the interest, keep the bankers happy, but also look at ways in which we can reinvest into our operations.
The biggest reason for this shift in the market is a historically low inventory, which now makes beef a premium product.
The biggest thing that we're seeing now versus later is obviously a change in the herd size. We've got the lowest number since 1951 as far as the amount of cattle that are on feed right now, and so having that as well as weather changes and concerns out in the west, that's caused a need for more calves to be coming up, and that's the one thing that Georgia does a really great job on, is raising those calves and starting that up.
While cattlemen are optimistic about the future, they are still encouraged to look into price support programs from USDA like livestock risk protection in order to hedge against possible market volatility or supply chain disruption.
When everything's rosy and the numbers look like they can't possibly go any higher, you have folks make decisions, invest in things, and you want to make sure there's some coverage that the kind of prices that they thought they were going to get for those products. We're not poultry. We're not a supply chain that can produce something very quickly. Cattle take a while to raise to maturity and send on through the supply chain, and we want to make sure those producers that are making those investments have some tools at their disposal to say, man, I really like the price now that I would get for those cattle. I'm going to lock in some of that.
And this could be a decision producers will have to face in the future as well, with the herd size expected to remain low in the foreseeable future.
As far as people jumping into the cattle industry now because of the higher prices, we're not seeing quite the same gusto that we saw in 2014, 2015, where the herd rebuilt back much faster and we saw those prices come down sharper. We're expecting a more drawn-out approach this time, and that's something that will provide some long-term stability for our industry.
Another way producers can ensure long-term stability is joining organizations like the Georgia Cattlemen's Association, no matter the size of their operation.
USDA says that there's around 15,000 cattle producers in the state of Georgia. A lot of those producers, cattle are not their only agricultural pursuit. They may be a row crop farmer, they may have other livestock, but at the same time, cattle producers need to stand together. This is one of the things that we have seen, and the ability for us to have members, those numbers matter.
Reporting from Muskogee County, I'm Damon Jones for the Farm Monitor.
As spring blooms across Georgia, it brings with it an abundance of fresh fruits and vegetables. Among the favorites are strawberries. Our John Holcomb takes us to a location in Floyd County where visitors can savor the sweetness of what many say is nature's perfect candy.
rows of ripe strawberries, beautiful skies, and family time. Things you can find on U-Pick operations across the state, just like this one, LCCL Strawberry Farm in Rome. A strawberry operation started by the McDonald family more than 2 decades ago in an effort to create a place for families to make memories.
You can see here we got 3.5 acres on this side of the road. On the other side of the road we have 5 acres. We started with a ½ acre. It was 22 years ago, and it was the idea from, we have some family friends back home that grow strawberries at Copeland Strawberry Farm, and my dad had the idea, Tommy McDonald, y'all ought to do this. Cindy and you ought to do this up here in Rome, Georgia. Y'all got enough people. I think it'll support it. And so we did that the first year, started with a ½ acre, and we've just been fortunate enough to grow over the years and been blessed. And some people say, my wife might say it's a curse sometimes because we both have jobs, and you know, it gets a little hectic out here during strawberry season, but we've been blessed, and it's been a good venture for us.
This year is their 22nd crop, and as you can see, they're already off to a great start, as they've got tons of ripe berries that are just waiting to be picked.
We usually start going around April the 10th, usually, and once middle April hits, we're pretty wide open, and we go pretty strong through the end of May, and toward the end of May and into the 1st of June, we will still have berries, but it starts to slow down, and we may have to close some days and let them ripen back up to have enough for people to come in and pick. But that's usually the normal season for us, is 2nd week of April into the 1st week of June.
Over the years, they've managed to build quite the name for themselves. As he says, they have people that come from all over to pick berries at their farm.
We've been blessed and fortunate to have the support of the community, and we have people out of Atlanta, Chattanooga area that come down here to our farm and pick, and I mean, it's great and it's rewarding for us. And I mean, when you get those good compliments and people say thank you for allowing us to come to your farm, I mean, you can't get a better compliment than that.
However, as you would imagine, it takes a lot of hard work to manage an operation like this one. But McDonald says it most certainly is a labor of love, as they enjoy meeting those that come out to the farm to make memories with their families.
We have a lot of good people that help us out here, and we've been blessed in that situation to have these people to come out and help us. And we've had people, you know, that's been with us for many years. And the other is spending time with family and getting to meet new people. We meet somebody new and different every day, and it's been a great experience, and we've had a lot of fun with it. It's just a great experience for children to come out. Some children that come from the city, they may not know what it takes to grow a strawberry or even know where a strawberry comes from, but for them to come out here and be together as a family and enjoy our farm, it just means a lot to us.
Reporting in Rome for the Farm Monitor, I'm John Holcomb.
After the break, get ready to spoil mom and dad with a brunch spread fit for royalty. Dr. Tracy Brigman joins us and shares her mouth-watering recipes perfect for any occasion, really, but these will fill mom with a special joy.
Well, a check of the calendar, you will see that Mother's Day is right around the corner, and so is Father's Day for that matter. Hint, Danielle, Nick. So you're probably thinking to yourself, hey, maybe we want to do some brunch for one of those special occasions, but you don't know what to fix. Well, that's why we hired Dr. Tracy Brigman for situations just like this. Good to see you again.
Good to be here.
Yeah, so our theme is going to be brunch for Mother's Day,
Yeah.
Father's Day,
Yeah.
maybe vice versa.
Anything. So I have a sweet recipe and a savory recipe, so you can pick and choose. So we're going to start with the sweet one. This is a berry French toast casserole. So super good, uses fresh fruit that's available right now. So the first thing I did, I took a loaf of French bread and I cut it into cubes, and you're supposed to stale it out because French bread, it needs to be dry so that when it soaks up the liquid, it's not mushy. You can stale it out overnight, but I like staling it in the oven, 275 degrees, 10 minutes, and you get some good crunchy bread. So I did that. We're gonna put the bread in a 9x13 baking dish till it's about 3/4 full.
Okay.
So you might not need all of it. You hear that good crunch.
I like that. Like big old croutons.
Yeah. A little bit more. If you put in too much bread, then the ratio's
Okay.
off. So that's good. I think that's good. Yeah, there you go. All right. So then we need to make the custard that goes on it. So in this dish, I have 8 large eggs that I whisked together because I don't want whole egg yolks in there. So that's 8 large eggs. And then this is 2 cups of 2% milk. And then we're gonna add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract.
Extract.
And then that is 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Get some good flavor in there. And then 2/3 cup of brown sugar. And then we're gonna mix that, just make sure you're not making a mess. You see how I'm doing it, not letting you do it.
You're the expert.
So we just need to make sure it's all blended pretty well. Once it is well blended, you want to pour it. You're going to pour it evenly over the staled out bread. Make sure it's good and coated. All right, looks good. Then, once we have that all in, just make sure that our bread gets in there. Then we're gonna top it with 1 cup of sliced strawberries and 1/2 cup of blueberries. So if you wanna take the strawberries and just kind of evenly distribute them. Get really pretty. That's good. So now you have to make this ahead of time. So it needs to sit for at least 4 hours. I'm gonna wrap it in saran wrap, put it in the refrigerator, let it sit for at least 4 hours. Or you can let it sit overnight. So it's a good, if you have a busy morning getting ready for church, Mother's Day, Father's Day, you can do this ahead, and then all you have to do is pop it in the oven. So after it's sat for 4 hours or overnight, I'm going to take the saran wrap off, put it in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 35 to 50 minutes.
That's before.
That's before.
And that's
after. So that cooked for about 40 minutes. So again, you want to make sure that the egg is cooked through. To serve it, the recipe calls for 1 to 2 tablespoons of powdered sugar. So you're going to serve it with powdered sugar and maple syrup.
So that, my friends, was your sweet. Now we are switching to savory.
Yes. So this is a favorite in our house. It's an impossibly easy bacon pie. So I greased a 9-inch pie plate, and then I cooked 6 slices of bacon, and then it's crumbled. So if you want to sprinkle that evenly on the bottom of the pan, and you can get hickory smoked, applewood smoked, whatever bacon you like. So we're just gonna sprinkle that, and then I have a cup of shredded cheese. This is Monterey Jack. The original recipe, I think, calls for Swiss. I'm not a big Swiss cheese fan, so you can put cheddar cheese, you can put whatever kind of cheese you want in, just it's a cup of shredded. And this is 1/3 cup of chopped onion that I sauteed. If you want to put in raw onion, that's fine. I like mine sauteed in butter. So that's the nice thing about these impossibly easy pies. You can kind of put whatever filling you want in. Our house, we like bacon, onion, and cheese, so.
Good mixture.
Yep. So we're gonna fill the bottom of our pie plate with our fillings, and then we're gonna make the mix that's gonna go on top of it. So here I have 3/4 cup of Bisquick or baking mix. And if you wanna pour in, this is 1.5 cups of 2% milk. And then 3 eggs. So if you've ever worked with Bisquick before, you do get some lumps. It's okay for my mixture to be a little bit lumpy. If you see any really large ones, you want to go ahead and break those up. But there's going to be some lumps. They will bake out during the baking process. Once I have this mixed and I don't see any large lumps, I'm going to pour it on top of our toppings. And then this is going to go in an oven that's preheated to 400 degrees for 35 to 40 minutes. When the knife comes out clean, that's when it's done. You want to let it rest for 5 minutes before cutting into it.
So obviously with those two recipes, you need some kind of a beverage.
Absolutely.
Tracy has just the thing.
Yes, so we have a non-alcoholic peach Bellini. So that will complement the French toast casserole or the easy bacon pie. So what I have in here, I have 2 peaches that have been peeled, pitted, and sliced. And then there are 2 cups of peach juice. So go ahead and hit blend.
I like to push buttons.
Do it.
I always push your buttons, you know what I'm saying? Blend?
Yep.
It's blending.
It's blending.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
Are we good?
a little bit more.
Okay.
It'll get everybody up in the morning ready for breakfast.
What? Good?
I think good. So we have everything blended smooth, and then the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to add 2 cups of sparkling apple cider.
Fancy blender.
Fancy blender. Now with this, now see I'm speaking loud because I can't hear. So with this, I don't want to lose all the bubbles, so I'm just going to.
Yeah, can you put that back on me?
Yeah, sorry. Sorry. I just want to pulse like once or twice, because if I blend it like I did, then it's going to blend all the bubbles out. So I'm just going to hit,
Come on.
I have to turn on the power. That helps. Power helps. 1, 2. Then we are simply going to pour this over some ice. Oh, doesn't that look good? I'm going to leave some space on it at the top, because then you garnish it with freshly washed blueberries and some mint leaves. And then you have your non-alcoholic peach Bellini.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Happy early Mother's Day.
Happy early Father's Day.
And of course, as I have the ice in my mouth, you too can find these recipes by logging on to farm-monitor.com, swallowing the ice, going to the top of that page, and again, all the recipes are there. These are very simple. These are very easy. And I think both Mom and Dad are definitely going to be happy with this.
Absolutely.
Tracy, thank you so much.
Thank you for having
Thank you for watching, and we will see you again next month.
Up next, meet the legendary ag educator who's not just teaching, but shaping lives and legacies. The story of Dr. R. Gene Claxton. The Farm Monitor continues.
Finally this week, a huge congratulations to legendary ag teacher Dr. R. Gene Claxton, the latest inductee into the Georgia Agricultural Hall of Fame.
Known for his begin with the end in mind motto, Dr. Claxton's impact goes far beyond the farm.
Dr. Claxton, to most people, or to a lot of people, is an icon within our profession.
All of his students know him by 2 different things, really, is that begin with the end in mind, and then to win every day, that everything that you do is not a game day, that it takes a lot of preparation and work time to get to game day.
He always has a story to tell, and a lot of those stories, those students that went through those processes and that training and that preparation with him have those stories to tell too. And it was life lessons that he was teaching throughout that journey.
You could ask a person that affected my life or had a great influence on me, that would be my dad. I remember once, I was probably junior high age, and I was having trouble identifying a black cherry, a persimmon, and a black gum. Those 3 trees always gave me difficulty. and identifying him. So he told me at supper, you know, what to look for. And then after that, he said, get in the truck.
Arjean's parents were both teachers, so that instilled a love of teaching. They taught him the importance of teaching young people. And that's really where his motivation and drive came from.
So we rode down the road, old dirt road, until he found those trees, and he showed me. And I thought about that so many times. He showed me the answer, not just told me.
He came to Perry High in 1980. He came in with such enthusiasm and a lot of ideas for our program.
He let me experience the answer, and that's one thing I try to do in my classroom. A student would ask me a question, I would try to show them the answer, not just tell them.
And I think he brings out the best in kids just because of the way he treats them and the genuine care that they know that he has. So he has built a reputation of being able to teach and motivate kids.
When he would win a contest, he would go back and he would study that contest from point A to point Z. And he would teach those kids everything that he possibly could to make them successful at that competition.
He had 9 national winning teams, 2 national proficiency winners, and an ag science winner. And that type of success doesn't come overnight. Building up to that, in his 37-year career, he had 43 state winning teams. And 26 of those were top 10 in the nation.
I think about a story that a teacher was asked years ago when I was first-year teacher. And this particular county he was teaching in didn't have pigs. They didn't have any pork industry, but their kids showed a lot of pigs. And somebody criticized him and said, why are you raising all these pigs? We don't have pork in this county.
What stood out to us is it wasn't all about the winning. It was about the process and the journey and the experiences along the way.
And he replied, we're not raising pigs, we're raising young'uns. And this is the mechanism that we use.
And then he went on to have 10 total students that became a state officer, and he had 1 national president.
Probably in this state, Arjean would be in the top 1, 2, maybe 3 of teachers who have produced ag teachers.
16 of his students pursued careers in ag education. While a lot of them went into agriculture, even those who didn't, if you think about it, those lawyers and doctors, they've got a good solid understanding of agriculture. They may run for office, they're voters, they have a lot of influence. So that ripple effect has really been impactful. And he didn't just stop when he retired. Since then, he has mentored 350 first-year teachers.
To be inducted into the Hall of Fame was like a wow moment, but it's kind of like the turtle on the fence post. You know, he attained a high place, but you know he didn't get there by himself.
All of his students love him, and the communities and families that he has touched appreciate him. And the ag industry in Georgia thanks him for the big influence he's had. And we really appreciate all he's done for the entire ag industry in the state of Georgia.
Man, they might need a bigger hall for him, am I right?
I know.
Unfortunately, that music means they want Kenny and I out of here.
Yes, indeed. But we're back again next week. Same time, same channel. Until then, take care, stay safe, and thanks for watching The Farm Monitor.
Have a great week.